The Wreckers are one of the coolest subgroups to ever be featured in the Transformers franchise. And finally this year, we got a whole subline dedicated to it through the Amazon exclusive Wreck and Rule collection. The reveals came out, they started off strong, they kind of died out a little bit, being mostly repaints later on, but now I've got all those figures in hand. So how does the Wreck and Rule collection stand up? How's it going, everyone? My name is Deceptibot9. Thank you all for joining me once again here on the channel. Now, before we get too far into this, go ahead, if you like what you see, leave a like. If you want to see more of what I do, and stay tuned for all the future content I've got planned, go ahead and subscribe as well. Plus, if you want to follow me on other socials, you can find me on Instagram at Deceptibot9Reviews, on TikTok at Deceptibot9, and on Twitter at Deceptibot9 as well. So, like I mentioned up top, there's not much more to get into. We are going to rank the 7 figures total from the Wreck and Rule collection. Now, a couple of these were 2-packs, and I'm not going to rank them together as a unit. I am ranking each figure individually, even though the sets are pretty cool, and part of the draw of those 2-packs was the fact that they were 2-packs. But we're going to rank the figures individually, so we've got 7 total. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Coming in at the bottom of the list, unfortunately, number 7 is going to have to be Bulkhead. There's lots of good things going on here with Bulkhead. I love the inclusion of the extra hammer over here. It very much looks like Prime Breakdown's hammer. I love the paint job too. I think it's a great paint job for Bulkhead. And as a lot of fans have mentioned, it almost reminds them more of Bay vs. Hound than Bulkhead. Either way. And if you watch my review of Legacy Bulkhead, you know how I feel about this figure. The only reason he's down at the bottom is because he felt too soon for a just straight up repaint of Bulkhead with not a lot of other modifications. Obviously, having him in the Wreckers subline makes sense because it's a huge part of his character in Transformers Prime, but we literally only got Legacy Bulkhead about 2 months or so before we got this one. So I felt like it would have been okay one or the other, but having both back to back so soon just felt a little too close for me, at least. But I still really like both versions of Bulkhead. Just maybe release this one a year later rather than 2 months after. Coming up next at number 6 is going to be Springer, our toy colored sort of Marvel Comics inspired Springer, which is something I'm going to say a lot throughout this video. I love that some of these figures are a lot more Marvel Comics inspired. And I love that we've been getting more comic inspired figures overall lately. I'm a sucker for the comic inspired figures, but this version of Springer looks awesome in all of his modes. I think the toy color really helps with that sort of more blocky proportions, and I can't really tell if I like this version or the regular Siege version more, but these colors really are enhanced by just the blocky nature of this thing because it just looks more like the original toy, like a nice modern version of the G1 toy. Alright, coming in at number 5, once again another Marvel Comics inspired character. It is Impactor from the first set of the Wreckers wave, and honestly I really like this version of Impactor a lot. The head sculpt on him is just super cool. I like it much better than the regular retail release. I know some people were kind of annoyed because this will be their 3rd version of Impactor, the regular one, the IDW inspired one, and now this Marvel Comics one. I never got that IDW inspired one, so I'm going to stick with this one probably as my main Impactor because I think he just looks really nice overall. It's a great mold overall. I really like the Siege Impactor mold. And I love the Marvel Comics inspired look of this guy. Alright, coming in at number 4 is Diaclone Universe Twin Twist. I was super excited for this guy because I never found the original Titans Return version of Twin Twist, and I just had never got around to getting it over the past 5 years. But I have Topspin, and it always felt a little weird to have Topspin without his brother Twin Twist. And I actually kind of really like having 2 different colored versions of these characters. Helps them stand out a little bit more and makes the pair of them together a little more unique. I don't know. I love having the toy colored, or the G1 American toy colored top spin, and then going with the Diaclone Japanese colored version of Twin Twist. I don't know, I think it's really, really neat actually having both of them, and it's a great mold to revisit after a little while, so I'm really glad there's a new version of this guy to come out. All right, coming in at number 3 goes to Fossilizer Spindle. This is great. I love this. The Fossilizers was one of the best concepts to come out of Kingdom. I was never the biggest fan of the Weaponizers or the other ones that they were called in Earthrise. I cannot remember what they were called. But I was all sold in on Fossilizers, and I love that it's a retooling and not just a straight up kind of repaint, because he's a whole different dinosaur, but he uses the same base as Paleotrex, and I just love the way, or I think Spindle's a she on it. Whoops. I love the purple and the gold colors on her. She just looks so nice. I mean, the biggest problem with Spindle is the fact that her ankles come out really, really easy. But overall, I mean, I love the Spinosaurus look. The Fossilizers are really cool, so Spindle right down here at number 3. All right, coming in number 2, was kind of surprised at how much I like this figure. It's Master Dominus, and I only say I'm surprised at how much I like this figure because Ractonite was not my favorite out of that set from Kingdom. So I was like, oh, I mean, Mammoth is a really cool idea and design aesthetic, but the mold itself I'm not a huge fan of. But I don't know what it is about this version that just makes me love it so much. I love the Mammoth look. I love the extra leg extension that we get, which in robot mode turns into like a claw hand. It's so cool. The head sculpt on him rocks. The black and gold and gray color scheme also, with the red coming out the side. Color scheme and paint job is so well done on Master Dominus. That's a ridiculous name too, but I mean, I love it. It is so cool. I am all sold on the Mammoth. I would love to get another version of the Mammoth eventually down the line if we could. Only thing that bugs me slightly is they didn't do anything with the tail, so it's just got a 5mm port sticking out the back as the butt of the tail, but that's something I can overlook. It's no big deal. All right, one left. If you've been following along, you know who it is already. It is G2 Universe Leadfoot. I was super excited when this guy was revealed because he just looks so rad. And my main Leadfoot, the main Leadfoot that I know, is the movie version. And this is such a drastic difference in design from the movie version, but I love it. The head sculpt is just incredibly amazing. I know Leadfoot came first as this G2 figure that looked like kind of like this. I know that. But as a kid who was raised on Bayverse, sometimes you hear a name first and there's nothing else going on for it. So that's what sticks in your brain, okay? Anyway. Head sculpt looks absolutely tremendous. Color scheme on him overall as well is just a joy. I love the way this figure looks. And I never got Earth Mode Mirage, so this is my first experience with this version of the mold. And it's not bad. I mean, it's like the Siege one, but with a couple different things here and there. I think I prefer the Siege one overall. I understand why they chose Earth Mode Mirage, though, to make Leadfoot. But man, I freaking love how this thing looks, especially in vehicle mode too. Vehicle mode, so nice. And again, he's also, I mean, they say G2 Universe, but he is a little comics inspired at the same time. So I cannot get enough of Leadfoot. I think he is super sweet. Even the blue has like a nice kind of glossy paint on it. Overall, it looks really good. And as you can tell, the Leadfoot Master Dominus 2-pack was easily my favorite out of all of the sets. That very well executed that set was. And of course, I can't forget to talk about the Wrecker's Hammer piece. I know a lot of people were put off when they initially said it was going to be a cardboard Build-A-Figure piece, even called a Build-A-Figure, but honestly, I think it's really cool as a sort of really neat display. Obviously, it would have been way cooler if it was some kind of role play item or if it was a buildable figure, obviously. I think this would have been a great way to introduce the Build-A-Figure concept to the main line. I don't know exactly that it would work, because Build-A-Figure is hard, especially when you have to do the type of conversions that you have to do with figures. But like we saw with the Cyberverse one, McAdam was cool, but he doesn't transform. He didn't really transform in the show, though, so it's okay. But anyway, I think as a display piece, it's really, really neat. I don't know exactly what else I'm going to do with it. Obviously, I could build kind of a Wrecker's Shrine. That might look really cool, but I mean, it holds together fairly well for a bunch of cardboard that goes together, and overall, looks neat. What else can you say? All right, everyone, that is going to do it for my ranking of the Transformers Legacy Wreck and Rule collection. Go ahead and let me know down below what's your ranking of the Wreck and Rule collection. Did you get all the figures? Did you only pick and choose the ones you wanted? How do you feel about them overall? So that's all I've got for you guys today. As always, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. I really do truly appreciate it. And I've been your host, Decepticon9. I'll see y'all later.